World War II, the history. World War II, commonly referred to as the Second World War, was a war that took place on a worldwide scale and lasted from 1939 until 1945. It is estimated that between 50 and 85 million people lost their lives as a result of the battle, making it the bloodiest war in human history. The Allies and the Axis powers were the two primary military coalitions that engaged in combat during the conflict. The United States of America, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union served as the commanding officers of the Allied forces, whereas Germany, Italy, and Japan were in charge of the Axis powers. As a result of the heavy sanctions that the treaty imposed on Germany, a significant portion of the German population became enraged and frustrated. Adolf Hitler took control of Germany in 1933 and immediately began to expand the country's armed forces after the country was transformed into a dictatorship under his rule. In September of 1939, Germany launched an invasion of Poland, which ultimately resulted in Britain and France going to war with Germany. Invasion of Poland by the Soviet Union took place as well, but the Soviet Union did not formally join the Allied forces until June 1941. The battle had a significant effect on the entire world and is regarded as one of the bloodiest and most extensive conflicts in the annals of human conflict. The war claimed the lives of over 50 million people, the vast majority of whom were innocent civilians who were caught in the crossfire. It is estimated that approximately 21 million people lost their lives while serving in the armed forces during the war, and an additional 30 million people lost their lives as a direct result of the conflict's aftermath. The bellicose foreign policy of the Axis powers, particularly Germany, was one of the primary factors that led to the outbreak of World War II. Hitler was a firm believer in the ideology of Lebensraum, which literally translates to living space. This notion advocated for the expansion of the German Empire into Eastern Europe and Russia. In addition, Hitler worked toward the eradication of what he considered to be the substandard races, which contributed to the horrifying Holocaust that resulted in the deaths of 6 million Jews and members of other minority groups. When compared to those used in World War I, the weaponry, equipment, and machineries that were utilized during World War II were vastly more advanced. The development of armored fighting vehicles, naval vessels capable of carrying aircraft, and aircraft carriers all had a significant bearing on the result of the war. The development of the atomic bomb heralded the beginning of a new age in combat and irrevocably altered the world. The war was fought on a number of different fronts, with Europe, Africa, and Asia serving as the primary theaters of operations. Major conflicts between the Allies and the Axis forces included the Battle of Stalingrad, the Battle of Normandy Beach, and the Battle of Midway. The United States and Japan engaged in combat throughout the duration of the war in Asia. The Japanese Empire had successfully colonized a significant portion of Southeast Asia and posed a significant danger to the Allied nations in the Pacific. The Allies were successful in their battle against the German army in Europe and were able to take Berlin in the end, which brought an end to the conflict on that continent. The Allies initiated a string of offensives, the most significant of which was the Battle of Midway, which took place in June of 1942. As a result of this action, the Allied naval force was successful in destroying the Japanese Navy, and the Allies were able to seize control of the Pacific theater of operations. During World War II, espionage and spying played an important part in the conflict. Spies were utilized by both parties in order to collect intelligence and carry out sabotage operations. While the Germans had spies in the United States and Britain, the Allies maintained a robust network of spies operating throughout the conquered territories of Europe. Ian Fleming, a well-known British spy, was an essential member of the Allied intelligence collecting activities during World War II. He was also the one who gave rise to the James Bond character. The principal participants in the fight were the Allied nations and the Axis powers. However, a great number of other countries and territories were also involved. This battle was fought on a genuinely global scale, as it encompassed over 100 different countries and territories altogether.